If the world were full of servants, would that be a good idea? Is that a world you would want to live in? Fate Requiem takes place in such a world, watched over by the Holy Grail, where everyone born in the new generation has a Holy Grail and can summon their own servant. Prior to this era, there was a much larger Holy Grail war, known as World War III, where a multitude of Grail wars took place. Of course, this eventually ended, starting a new era. Some people aren't able to summon servants due to servant phobia, being victims in some way, shape, or form from the previous wars. But now a tournament is held where servants can fight for sport, and it's commonplace. Everyone has command spells that recharge over time if they're granted power from the Holy Grail, and these command spells have different applications from what we are used to, such as being able to change one's appearance. Erice Utsumi, the heroine of Fate Requiem, is unique among the many Fate protagonists, referred to as a semi or quasi-servant Fate Grand Order due to her mother being a servant, although Erice physically is still human. But due to this connection, if she is summoned as a servant, she gains the spirit of Izunami and Izunagi, or at least a replica of it, as well as the divinity of underworld gods. Due to her unique existence, she cannot leave Mosaic City, the setting of Fate Requiem, according to Maki, otherwise she will die in a matter of a few days. In one of the Fate Grand Order material books, it's revealed that Erice's mother is Izunami. This is not revealed in the story of Fate Requiem as of yet, but this means that she is related to Amaterasu, aka the Tamamos, Susanoo, and Tsukuyomi. And she is the grandchild of the Stigmata, Chizuru Manazuru, a participant of the previous Grail War, and Erice was trained by her servant Lucius Longinus, who wields a holy spear. She chose to do this since she has to fight servants. She does come to odds with Chitose 2 times in the novel specifically, where she's told to stop doing her job, her master has gotten involved, and thus has been barred from certain locations. Chitose eventually asks Erice to hand over Kron, aka Voyager, and at that point, Erice has grown fusing to hand over her soon-to-be servant. One day on the job, she was stabbed by a projection of the spirit of Longinus, and this is where she met Voyager. Is she not blessed by the Grail because she is cursed? That is something she asks herself in Volume 1. Her job generally finds her doing some dirty work to keep the public opinion of servants being harmless and a society filled with them, killing the ones that need to be taken out. If possible, she does try to talk to them before resorting to violence. Erice isn't the biggest fan of the Grail tournament because she sees it as play fighting. As somebody who generally goes out to fight servants and it's life or death situation, so the idea that servants will fight just for fun kind of bothers her, and she feels like people are not being genuine. Friend Karin tells her that who is she to judge how genuine somebody is. Erice eventually comes to understand this feeling a little bit when she actually goes to a tournament. Because she is not blessed, like, people ask her what it's like not having command seals or a servant, sometimes out of pity, and trying to respond as kindly as possible, remembering her master's advice. Karin, this lady, is her fashion role model, who is based off of this Karin in terms of appearance and this Karin in terms of naming. If Erice is missing any particular pieces of clothing that catches your eye, then that's why. She's not immortal, she's susceptible to illnesses, and she's going to live a normal lifespan compared to all people born in her generation. But now she is a master of the last servant summoned in the world in a brand new class called Voyager, which is also her servant's name. It's not known if her command spells are like everybody else's in the world, or if it's like the old style ones where they don't come back after use. It's mentioned that she doesn't attend school, although schooling in their world is much different from how we understand it. She does take the proper evaluations as well as getting credit from extracurricular activities. Otherwise, she's too busy to really attend school, being the Reaper, and she does attend lectures from time to time where she met Koharu, who's also very unique in this this world. This is Dark Marie or Black Marie, whatever you prefer. The combination of dread spirits residing in Erice Utsumi, taking the form of Marie Antoinette, who Erice holds in high regard, representing her regrets, killing servants as the Grim Reaper. She conducts herself in what she considers to be a queenly manner, although the original Marie disagrees, calling her callous in her methods and attitude. She gaslights Erice, who has killed many servants, including Marie Antoinette's son, due to circumstances that were out of her control. She desires to sully Erice, who feels guilty about the things she's done in the past, and this plan might have worked out if not for the support of Chaldea, who was dragged in to this incident. When Black Marie is defeated, she is returned to Erice, but reminds her that they are the same and that the destiny that the Grail has chosen for Erice will chain her down. Regardless, Erice decides to choose how she wants to live her life and joins Chaldea as the first and probably only quarter servant to date, originating as an Earth space probe from America, returning after a long voyage across space, appearing in a human form to communicate with humanity better, looking like a young boy with a scarf that defies gravity, and later gets goggles that belong to his master, Erice. His appearance is heavily influenced by her, according to his servant profile. He is sometimes seen with a toy plane that belonged to Erice when she was a child, showing his more childish nature, and occasionally likes to look at the sky, probably looking for the stars, as well as showing curiosity about many new things, hinting back to his origins as a space probe. He met Erice when she was on a mission sinking in the water after getting stabbed, wondering if she was his master, which wasn't the case at that time. Later on, the Karin AI couldn't tell who or what he was based on his saint graph, so Erice went to call him Prawn for the time being, eventually getting the classification of Voyager based off of his name given to him by Erice, or in FGO's case, the classification of foreigner, since they're not gonna add a new class in just for one servant. As a fresh and brand new servant, he is unaware of what war is, and the Grail told him nothing. During one of Erice's class lectures, when she mentioned dogs, he started howling like one, showing no social awareness, having not yet adjusted to this world, and his curiosity eventually leads him later on to finding Kuchime's street performance, which intrigues him captivatingly. During the Grail tournament attacked by Nazambi, he is shown destroying her knife with a single touch from his finger, making the weapon unmovable as it suddenly became white hot and then exploded. Chitose, Erice's grandmother, wanted Erice to hand Voyager over to her. By that point, Erice, having grown attached to him, refused to do so, knowing her grandmother wouldn't respect her wishes, but eventually yields, and she decides to give him his name, Voyager. Erice has a friend, Karin, who has the servant Kijyo, who is a Berserker class servant, who also has the same voice actress in Fate Grand Order as Ryobi from Siren Kagura. Fun fact. She is a dinosaur, but a gentle soul who has the ability to heal. She looks like a dinosaur because she saw a dragon god skeleton one day and was very impressed by it. Servant to Karin, Erice's best friend, she shows off the ability to heal, helping Erice recover from a stab wound she suffered on night watch duty. As a more old school berserker, she doesn't speak, but Karin hears her thoughts as wordless ideas, and Erice uses a translator mystic code to get an idea of what she's saying. She has the nickname Momi from Karin because she doesn't like being called Momi Jigari. She never appeared to Karin when she was a young child because Karin's parents don't like servants. So, moving onwards, Karin doesn't really spend much time at home, but but one day when she was young, Karin was kidnapped by Louis XVII, Marie Antoinette's son that Erice ended up killing, and feels guilty about it. Koyo appeared to save Karin. Otherwise, she is commonly seen in Volume 1 with Karin watching Voyager, especially at the start of Nazambi's attack on the tournament, with Karin helps some of the injured victims of said attack. In life, it said she was born as a wish from her parents to the demon king of the sixth heaven. Originally, her name was Kureha, later named Koyo, with Kijyo referring to the type of Oni she is labeled as, a bandit leader and a teacher of reading and writing, healing villagers that were ill. But why was she in this village? Well, she was pregnant with the child of Minamoto no Tsunemoto and was actually saved from execution because of this, instead being banished, being accused of trying to kill his wife. She was accepted into this village. During the Grand Order storyline, within the Requiem collab event, she was sealed at the goal of the 5th game by Black Marie and was unsealed by Erice appearing in her Oni form, which surprised her in Voyager because Erice and Voyager actually never saw her in any other form. This version of her is different from the one they know because she doesn't remember them. After trying to calm her down, some remarks from Marie about Erice killing servants provoked Koyo to go out of control and attack them, but they calmed her down again and things worked out. This may be a surprise, but it's said that she is an inspiration of Akiha Tono, her legend being considered the origin of Akiha. There's also the star of the Holy Grail War tournament, Koharu, who is a homunculus who has the servant Galahad alter, a saber and ladies man similar to his dad Lancelot. This version of Galahad actually gave up his search for the Holy Grail halfway through. Koharu actually has the ability to fuse with Galahad through servant possession, although she cannot use his strongest noble Phantasm because her body in its current state can actually not handle it. Galahad is actually very considerate of Koharu, unlike Galahad from Fate Grand Order. One of the masters from the previous Holy Grail War, Chizuru Manazuru, is the master of Lancer. She is one of the last people to have traditional command seals, which means they can't come back. She has one on each leg and hand. She's also Erice's grandmother, even though she still looks pretty young. Her Lancer, Lucius Longinus, a Roman soldier who has a holy spear. We also have Kuchime, who was a street performer and a member of the previous generation. He was granted a Holy Grail and by extension command spells, but he has no servant. And lastly, Nazami, a rogue servant known for hunting after masters' command spells, meaning you can very likely see her with a lot of hands from masters that she's killed and is actually seen sucking away those command spells.